Depression affects millions of people every year. Males are typically hard to diagnose with depression because they do not feel to talk about it, and many feel that they will be ridiculed for it and leads them to think that they are weak, which is certainly not the case. There are three types of depression. The first is major, which can show severe symptoms that interfere with daily life and activities. Next is dysmia, which is less severe but may last longer. And the final type is minor, which is the least severe of all, but does not last very long. It is important to remember that no matter the type of depression, you should always seek help. There are certain signs and symptoms of depression that you can look out for in yourself or a loved one. Those include feeling sad, loss of interest, feeling tired, loss of appetite, thoughts of suicide, or unexplained aches and pains. Typically, men will show aggression, lose sleep, and lose interest in things that they once enjoyed. It is important that if you or a loved one shows any of these symptoms, to seek help. There are many ways to seek help if you feel like you are suffering from depression or someone you know may be suffering from depression. Those include talking to your trusted family doctor, talking to loved ones, or you can try contacting the National Institute of Mental Health or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. It is important to remember that there is help out there for your depression. Some people may be wondering, what is there I can do to help someone who is suffering depression? It is important to urge them to seek help. Or you could try inviting them out to do things with you, encouraging them that things will get better, or simply to talk to them. They must remember that over 5 million men suffer from depression, and over 80% of those who seek help are successful in treating their depression. Unfortunately for many, depression can often lead to suicide, with over 30,000 people committing the act each year. Men do not typically search out for help for their depression, making suicide all the more likely. Men account for over 78% of all suicides a year. While women are typically more likely to try to commit suicide, men are almost 4 times more successful. That is because men typically use more violent methods of suicide, such as the use of firearms, which accounts for over half of suicides in the United States. There are certain signs and symptoms that you may want to look out for concerning suicide. The person may want to talk about wanting to die, talk about feeling hopeless, or talk about feeling like a burden. They may suffer from alcohol or drug abuse. They may lose sleep, and they may show signs of aggressive behavior. If anyone you know shows any of these symptoms, encourage them to find help. If you or a loved one is suffering from depression and has thoughts of suicide, it is important to either call a doctor, call 911, or call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. It is important to remember that 80% of those who seek help for their depression and thoughts of suicide are treated successfully. It is important to remember that there is hope for your depression.